do this. Perfect. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Peters. I'm a coordinator here at LACO, taking over for Miss Ashley Ruiz, who's also in our audience today as a participant. I just want to say welcome. This is my first mentor forum that I'll be leading this year. It's the last one of the year, but I will do a formal introduction of myself in a couple of slides. But just know that I'm very excited to be working with you all and to continue this journey with you next year. This is our May forum, which means that this is our last forum of the year. When we look at our agenda, it looks a bit lengthy, you right? Like there's 9 things, but actually this presentation hopefully will just lay out a strong foundation for you to really just see what's left that needs to be completed this month, and really just to be used kind of as a checklist for you to see, did you turn everything in? Are your candidates all set? And everything in here also has
I
links.
gotta go get my shit.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Perfect. All right. So all of these slides also have hyperlinks to either documents or to places in Canvas where you can drop your documents in. Okay. This presentation is being recorded, so I'm going to go ahead and share the recording after today's meeting, because today's meeting is the last meeting, as well as I'll reshare the presentation slides with everyone. Okay, let me just... Here is the link to today's presentation. If you didn't see the email a couple days ago, I tried to pre-share the agenda so that you guys knew what was coming. But we'll go ahead and we'll get started, okay? So the first we're going over is our virtual rules for engagement. So we just ask that if you are able to have your camera on, please have your camera on. Please remain muted when not talking, just to ensure good sound quality for everyone else. And that when we are asked to engage, that you are engaging in the breakout rooms. There will be time after kind of each segment of this where I open up room for conversation, questions, as well as at the end, I'll stay on after to help answer any questions. When I send out the slides later tonight, I'm also just going to put a list of all the questions that were asked either from last night or from tonight, just so that you guys have answers to questions that may have been asked in the other mentor forum. Our norms for today is just making sure that we have equity of voice, that we share the air, that we are being active listeners, to value that your perspective is your experience. And so we are going to ensure safety to share all of our perspectives. And then just like Vegas, what stays in Vegas or what happens here stays here, okay? So just making sure that if you are sharing anything in the breakout rooms or with the whole group, it might be about your candidate or about a particular school, that we just want to make sure that that information stays with this group. Our objectives for today's forum is by the end of the session that you will be able to reflect on this year's professional development and how that has translated within your work and your work with your mentees. Also, that you'll be able to identify strengths and opportunities for improvement within the goal that you set from the beginning of year. And then also, I'll be giving you a glimpse into what to look forward to for next school year. So the first thing that I really wanted to do was I wanted to share just some information about myself. I love building social capital with everyone that I'm working with. So I just wanted to give you just like a brief introduction to who I am and the lenses that I wear. Okay. I've done all the jobs in education, starting with an aide and an after-school program, working as a teacher. And here I am in my first year teaching fourth graders at Woodcrest Elementary. Um, Great group of kids, horrible looking bulletin board. Don't judge me on that, but I hand drew those clouds. Now there's a lot more paper and cuter backdrops for that, but this was almost 20 years ago. So that's my first year teaching. Later was an instructional specialist at a school district. And then here's actually a picture of me as the instructional coach. So if you are a educator who loves school spirit, I'm right there with you. This picture I included because a parent actually just emailed this picture to me. She actually sent me a whole video. She recorded me at this Go Green rally for our SBAC students. And so I just wanted to share that with you, that I do have a fun side, and I love school spirit. So there is a picture of me in my principal years. I was a principal for 6 years at a charter organization. And these are the districts that I've worked for. I've worked for Long Beach Unified, Los Angeles Unified. The charter organization that I was a part of was ISF Public Schools. And most recently, working this past year in our intern program, which is in our beginning teacher programs. So helping teachers with obtaining their preliminary credential. Just like you, I was also a LACO induction mentor. And let's see. Oh, here's a picture. I am a mother, and this is my broke best friend, Noelle. She is 4.5 going on 14. And so if anyone has kids that age, I'm sure you can empathize with me and our preschool struggles. And let's see, I'm also a Hawaiian dancer, a hula dancer. A funny story is at a school I was working at, I was talking to some coworkers. I told them I was a hula dancer, and for like years they thought I was a hula hooper. And so I just felt that the need to share the Hawaiian dance, that I'm not spinning hoops. I would think that that's super talented too. But I have family from Hawaii, and so I've been hula dancing since I was 5 years old. Uh, I am a Disneyland pass holder, so if you're a Disney fan, we can talk that. But there me and my daughter are at Disneyland. And then finally, I come from a family of educators. So I have a sister, a mother, and father, all within education. My dad is retired LAUSD high school SPED teacher, special ed teacher. My mom is a preschool special ed placement teacher. So she did all the onboarding for LA Unified in her sub-district and placed them all at their initial school settings. And then my sister, who graduated, this is an old picture, but she is now a early childhood special education teacher as well. So I come from a family of educators, and yeah, I just wanted to share that information about me and my different walks of life, and I am very excited to get to know you all and learn more about you, okay? Moving on to the real business of tonight's presentation. So what you have been working on with Ashley is these two big themes. And so the first big theme is learner agency, and the second big theme is belonging. And what I did was I took screenshots of presentations that you've done this year. The first presentation in this top left corner, Ashley did a presentation comparing belonging with how high school students have belonging and how that compares to college students with belonging. And there's just a huge discrepancy between how high schools feel and how college students feel, and what we can do as educators to help bridge that. In October, we all took part of Ally training hosted by the Trevor Project. Then in January, Ashley showed a clip of graduation speech. And then a couple months ago, we had our guest speaker Velma Taylor, who also just kind of closed it out with learner agency, belonging, sharing a lot of resources and tools, right? So what I'm going to ask that you do is we're going to jump into breakout rooms for 15 minutes and talk about why is this theme important in today's school settings? Okay, so that's question one. Why did we even learn that this year? Why is that important? Okay. Question two, what have you done with your candidate that centers around this theme? Okay. And question three, what changes have you seen in your candidate regarding this theme? And so what was really interesting when it was in this last presentation with Velma Taylor, and this kind of came up in our group yesterday, is the sense of belonging doesn't also just fall with the students. We were talking about even our own belonging and teacher belonging, right? And so do the teachers feel that they belong at their school? And it's how has that shifted, you know, from the beginning of the year till now? How has that changed? And maybe it even changed for the worse, you know, like maybe some of your teachers may have gotten pink slipped or riffed. And so maybe their sense of belonging has now left, and we're kind of scrambling to help them find their footing again. So these are the three questions. I'm going to try to broadcast these questions to the rooms, but also if you want to take a screenshot or a picture of this slide, okay? But we're going to spend 15 minutes in breakout rooms just talking to each other about these three questions. Give me 1 second as I make the rooms. Perfect. All right. So go ahead for 15 minutes, join the room that you've been assigned to, and we'll see you in 15. Hi there. All right, people coming back to the main room. Oh, hold on. All right, and can you give me another thumbs up if you can see the screen? Perfect. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Jessica. All right. Before we move on to the next thing, do we just have any like final thoughts, any shares that came from your from our breakout rooms that you want to leave the group with, a closing thought?
Nicole, Cindy Diaz here.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi. Our group, I had the best ladies. I don't know about everybody else, but we had a really good group going. I think it was kind of a census from all of us that we're hoping that this is just the first stepping stone with this theme of, learner agency and belonging, that we can build on it next year and we're not thrown into a whole different a whole different something else we have to learn to give us time to absorb and kind of click things and fix what we didn't get right this time as, mentors. So that was one of our outcomes.
Well, I am going to give you a glimpse. I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but we'll go into it with some things that are going to be going on next year. But yes. Anyone else, just some closing thoughts of learner agency or belonging, something that you heard, something that you said, something that you tried? Barbara?
Just the nature of how critical these items are and how very much our new teachers needed us to walk them through this first or second year, because it has been so challenging. And we shared, Cynthia and Chad and I shared similar ideas, and they were all, getting down to Maslow's initial steps of belonging and safety and security. Anyway, we're playing a pivotal role. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it all came to life. I think it put a spotlight right after COVID when we were all so isolated too. And just how much our bodies need belonging, right? For that safety. Thank you. Anyone else, a final thought? I don't know if someone's trying to unmute themselves. No?
I've asked my candidates to consider the idea of project-based learning to help support learner agency in the classroom. And out of the three of them, two of them latched onto that. So one of them is really going to do an exciting project in math with a project where the children are going to learn about volume and area by creating, like artistically, these animals or these creatures out of boxes. And then the project is for them to create and to share their creation, and then also to share the mathematical calculation of the volume and the area of their creative creature, which I thought was really great. And especially with the emphasis on English language learners and students that have an IEP or a 504 plan, it's really getting them to be cognizant that all kids need to have access to the curriculum, and then being sensitive to the idea, right? Most definitely being sensitive to the idea that they need to access the same curriculum. And so therein lies the need to scaffold and then to differentiate for each of those subgroups according to their needs. So
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Rosa. I hear future engineers happening
there. Cool idea.
And also, you said, two of the three, right? And so it's really important to know that all our teachers are all, on a variation, of where they're at. And if they're in year one or year two, most likely they're in survival mode and they're not ready for learner agency and belonging. But this is just a great tool to keep. Cindy, you're talking about continuing this next year. It's a great tool for us to just be reminded of, so that as our teachers are ready, that we can push them into some of these things. All right. Thank you all for sharing.
May I offer you some feedback?
Offer you some feedback. Offer some feedback.
Ready for some feedback?
Ready for some feedback. Feedback. Ready for some feedback. Ooh, that was good.
Okay, so that was from a movie. I don't know if you have seen it, but Wine Country. And so whenever I hear that word feedback, I'm taken to this clip. And so I just wanted to bring some humor into our presentation today. But the next slides that I'm going to be showing you, and this is not specific to any particular mentor. I'm going to be collecting all that data and sharing with you your specific feedback from your candidates. But this is a general question that we ask our year two candidates. What else might your mentor have done to support you Or what would you find helpful throughout the induction process? So this is done during their last meeting of the year. And it's gathered just as kind of an informal data touch point. Okay. Oh, sorry, I was getting some echo. So this is just a Padlet. I have 2 slides that I'm going to show you. So if you could just take a second to read some of the feedback, and then I'll summarize the main points that came from all of the TLCs. So this was just one slide. I have one more slide to show. I love this top left one. My mentor is a queen and an angel and perfect in every way. I think they're speaking about all of you. Also, the second one, my mentor was fire. Okay, so shout out to the mentor that was fire. We even have Tony the tiger. And so what we did as a team back in the office, you know, we looked at just the different Padlets that were collected and just took away some key findings. The first is one of them said, you know, to share the tool ahead of time so the candidate can come prepared to the meetings. And as a team, you know, we were talking about this is kind of a fine line, you know, of sending the tool too early and then the candidate completes it versus letting them know, you know, what they're talking about so that they can come with different ideas to share with their mentor. So, but we saw that come up in a couple of the Padlet responses. They definitely love when you come to observe them, and they want to see that that they want to see you in their classrooms more. They also want to see opportunities where they can observe you teach. And so we saw in some of the Padlets that there are some mentors who went into their own classrooms and co-taught with candidates, or because you guys were at the same school sites, sometimes the candidates were able to observe you. And that was a really cool opportunity for them that they valued or that they wanted to see more of. They also really liked getting the immediate feedback after the observation. And so just keeping that in mind that because you are a non-evaluative person in their room, they really value any feedback that you can give them like in that moment to try in their classrooms. So this is just some informal data that we collected that we look at as a program to see if we need to make any adjustments. So now what I'm going to be moving into is our end of module reminders. And so if you are with year 1 candidates, you are finishing up module 3. And if you're with year 2 candidates, you're finishing up module 6. And so all of these steps look the same whether you have year 1 candidates or year 2 candidates. Okay. So this first slide is a great one because it shows for you all the tools that you need to complete with your candidate. Okay, so it has the tools, it has the PD log, and then for each of these bottom 3 rows, these are the ones that I'm going to be going over tonight because these are the 3 that are slightly different from previous modules because it's the end of the year. Okay, so this is a great slide to make copies of, to, you know, if you don't have this already copied, for you to just check off with your candidates. Okay, the first one that is different than any other module is the end of year reflection, the post-co assessment. And so with this tool, what you need to do is you need to pull all the co-assessments that you worked on with your candidate. Hold on, just need to mute some people. You need to pull all the co-assessments that you previously worked on just this year, okay? And at the bottom of each co-assessment, there is a blue table, okay, for you to write the date, the current level that they are at in standard, and then also the new evidence of why they fall in that new, or why they are at that level now. Okay, so for some people, if you chose 2 new standards each module, you would have 6 co-assessments to complete the bottom table for. If you stayed with the same 2 standards each module, then you would have 2 co-assessments to complete, okay? But each co-assessment needs to have the blue table filled out at the bottom, okay? And so there's 2 options of how you can give this to your candidate. One option is you can pull up all the co-assessments that you worked on and then copy and paste them into one document, okay? The other option is you can open up each of the co-assessments that you worked on and submit each one to them separately, and they can upload each co-assessment separately in Canvas, okay? So either of those options are fine, but any co-assessment that you worked on needs to have the blue table filled out at the bottom with new evidence to why they are at that level, okay? When you look at your mentor tools, the spreadsheet, if you would like to see a sample of what this looks like, there are samples of this towards the end of the spreadsheet on the far right-hand side, the bottom tabs that have samples. Okay, so if you need an example of that, look through your mentor tools spreadsheet.
Ashley, may I say something? I mean, I'm sorry, Nicole. May I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
As one of the major readers for year 2, I'm beginning to find some problems with those that do just 2. They do the 2 same assessments all year long. They should end up with 8 different colorings. You have to do, if you're doing the 2, you have to do all 4 boxes, not just 2 or 3 of the boxes.
You're talking about these boxes right here, the
Mhm.
initial, the second, the
The
third,
third
co-assessment,
and the
and
4th.
post.
Yes, they're skipping one of those.
Got it.
So I've just, now that they're coming in and I'm reading, I'm having to send notices. So I think if we're aware that if you just choose 2, then you've got to do all 4 of the boxes.
Got it. Thank you so much, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on the post co-assessment? And again, I'll stay on after, if any questions come up later that you're not ready to ask now. But I think I heard somebody starting.
Natalie Reyes.
Hi, Natalie.
So I just realized that both my candidates turned in their post co-assessment, the first parts, the first section. So we would have to open that co-assessment back up to do the post co-assessment, correct? And then they would resubmit it now with that filled in.
Yes.
Okay.
In a different color. This end of the year has to be a different color.
Isn't it?
In other words, when they first go over, let's say they're in emerging and they choose light blue, at the final module, they would want to choose a new color to help differentiate the end of the year changes.
Okay.
I put mine in the chat. We repeated the same elements each module. We haven't done post-go assessment yet, but you could see kind of a visual of what it would look like if you repeated with the different colors and whatnot. So My guess is she'll be at innovating by the end of the year, so that'll be a different color, and then I'll fill out the very bottom portion of each of the charts. And I put both of mine on the same document, so if you scroll down, you'll see both.
So at the end, so at the end, when we do the post assessment, because right now I'm looking at one of my girls, she has 3 different colors for each module. So the post assessment, I should have another color for innovating.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be innovating. I
Right,
mean,
if,
there
just
you
if
go.
she got integrating number 3.
Four colors
then that
total.
would- Okay, got it.
And you're gonna do it at the very end, so
Right.
that, because a lot of us just did co-assessment, like I did.
Yeah,
So we want to allow as much time as possible to show a little more growth.
got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
These are great questions. Then another thing that you need to do with your candidate is the SMART goal reflection. And so give me 1 second. Just put this.
Could I ask a real quick question related to the co-assessment? Like
Mhm.
2 of my candidates, one candidate did the same standard and the same elements, all 3 modules. My 2 other candidates selected, they stayed in the same standard, and the first 2 modules stuck with the same elements. And then the third time the third module, they wanted to do 2 different.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Yeah, so then they would have 4 co-assessments.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna have anywhere between 2 to 6.
Okay,
So, if they chose 2 new standards each module, then you'll have 6 co-assessments. But in your case, Rosa, it's gonna be 4 because they stayed with the same 2 standards for the first 2 modules, and then they chose 2 new ones for the third module.
and would that be total or just for that one candidate that did
For
that? That would just
the
be
one
for
candidate that did that.
that would be 4 co-assessments.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So now what you're going to do with your candidate is the SMART goal reflection. And there is one tool that you have the option to use, and it's the SMART goal reflection tool. It looks like this, and I went ahead and I linked it in the chat. Okay, but again, this is in your Mentor Tools spreadsheet. So I pulled it straight from there, and there's also samples in your Mentor Tools spreadsheet. Okay, it's going to be very important for you to complete the post co-assessment before you do the SMART goal reflection, because the second question in the SMART goal reflection is what progress have they seen throughout their year? And so those co-assessment tools will really show, visually, that's why we changed the colors too, for them to visually see how they have progressed in each of those CSTPs. Okay, so if you do decide that you do the SMART goal reflection first, you may need to skip that question and then come back to it with your candidate once you've done the post co-assessment. Okay. Something else that would be great for you to do with your candidates is for you to kind of just take a glimpse into your candidate's Canvas grades. During one of your meetings, if you could ask your candidate to show you their Canvas grades, this will ensure that they have turned in all of their assignments and that they've been properly uploaded. So in this bottom right corner, I have steps, but I also highlighted corresponding colors so you could see what this looks like. Okay, so if you say, hey, Ashley, can you log in to your Canvas so we can make sure everything is uploaded? Then you can direct them, click on grades on the left-hand side, and they'll see a running list of everything that they have submitted. And so the check marks it means that everything's good. Okay, I kind of put icons here. Check mark is good. X's mean that something is incorrect. Okay, and so when you look to the right of the X's, there are these comment box. Okay, and when you click on the comment box in purple here, over on the right-hand side, the comment will pop up of what went wrong with that document. So in this case right here, it says, please resubmit. The tool could not be opened. Okay, very easy fix. They tried uploading something, but the reader couldn't see it. Okay, it's really important for you to do this. You know, I was working with a mentor and I was like, is everything going okay? She hasn't uploaded 6 things for module 2. And she was like, what? I sent her those back in February. What's going on? And so it's really important for you to check on your candidates to make sure, especially since we're getting close to the end of the year, you're going to go on summer vacation. Your candidate is going to go on summer vacation. And then they're wondering what's holding up their credential. Okay. And so we want to make sure that they're turning in things as soon as possible so that the readers can also give feedback to the candidate. So if there's anything that needs to be changed or corrected, it gives you guys time within the school year to do those corrections. Okay. So here's just a slide to help you out with what to click on. Okay. This next slide is for our
Can I
LACO.
ask a question about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would we ever get any emails or anything about our candidates not turning in anything, or the only way we know is if they log in and show us?
You would get immediate feedback if you just ask them to log in. Only if, you know, like right now we're getting close to the end of the year. So sometimes the readers reach out to us, the coordinators, saying, hey, I'm kind of worried about this person. Can you see what's going on? You know, if they see that there's a lot of, you know, gaps in their assignments. But not hearing from us is a good sign. Okay. So as we just started the month of May. May is our last month that we are working with our candidates. The deadline that is in Canvas right now is May 17th. And the reason why it's May 17th is because that's the Friday before when payroll is due. But also, like I mentioned before, you know, we want to make sure that we're giving the candidates adequate feedback so that if they need to make changes, that they can make those changes before the school year is over. We have some schools that are out, you know, come Memorial Day. Okay. And then some schools that continue up until, you know, like June 14th, 16th time. But we just want to make sure that we're trying to catch as many people as possible and finishing their program in May. So if you are a LACO contract consultant, okay, and you are thinking that you need to work with your candidate post-May, meaning that you need to see them in June, or if you think that you need to meet with your candidate more than 4 times this month, there is one second, there's a form to fill out, okay, to request additional hours with your candidate, okay? And this again is just for the LACO contract consultants. If you are a mentor that is paid for through your district, okay, just talk to your district. They're the ones who are paying you. And so I'm sure it's not a problem if you're going into June to finish up with your candidates, but just make sure that that's right with your district. Okay, so if you need more time, meaning that you need to meet in May or you need to meet with your candidate more than 4 times this month, to go ahead and fill out that form. What I do is I just collect data, share with the team how many meetings that you guys have had to make sure that it's an appropriate request. Okay. And that's with that caveat that this is not guaranteed. We just have to look at the data to make sure that you have enough time to finish. Okay. Just like what we do in all of our end of module surveys, just dropping it in the chat. We do have a survey for you to complete about your candidates. It is already published in Canvas. I just dropped the link for you in the chat. But again, this is just talking about all of your candidates collectively as a group. Are they making progress? Is there anything that we need to be concerned about? What kind of support are you looking for? So once you are finished, you know, with your module, this is a survey for you to complete. It's the mentor survey for modules 3-6. Okay, Natalie,
For the survey, do we do one per candidate or just once we talk about all of? both
yeah,
of them?
you only get one opportunity
Oh,
for yeah, so you just kind of group all of your people together.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question. It's not about the survey, it's about the meeting for May. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. So, I know the last day of the program is the 17th. So do we still meet for the week of the 6th and the week of the 13th or not?
The week of you mean May
May.
6th and May 13th? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you can still meet with your candidate to complete anything that they still need to complete. If they've already turned in all of their documents, then I think you're good to go. But you should be meeting with them once a week.
I have a question also.
Yeah, go for it.
If we don't go over, can we meet the week after the 17th if we haven't gone over 4 without permission, or do we need permission to work that
No.
week?
Yeah, you can still meet with them. You can meet with them up to 4 times in May. If you need to meet more than 4 times in May, that's when you would fill out the form.
Okay, so the week of the 20th, we're still good.
Yeah, and you would
Okay.
just project that, on your UKG.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Nicole, I have a question about the survey. So I
Mhm.
noticed every time I complete the survey, I get an email, Marine, we need you to complete the survey. But I always do. And then there's like a 0 grade next to it. I'm confused. Am I
Oh,
doing?
no, the 0 grade means that you did complete the survey.
Okay.
It pops up as a 0. That's just how Canvas marks the survey because we say it's worth 0 points. If
Yeah.
it's blank, it means that you didn't do it, meaning that there's not a 0 there. But if the 0 is there, it means that you completed it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Nicole, just to reiterate, if I heard my other colleague mention this and you said yes, that was correct. What I heard her say was that if you needed to go over May 17th, because the way I saw it was May 17th, everything had to be in. And the other 2 modules, we met the deadline. But
Mhm.
say something happens, one of them gets sick, I get sick, whatever the situation is, and we need time over, we need to submit that log to let you know we're gonna go beyond May 17th. And then just if it's approved, project it on our timesheet.
If you're going to meet more than 4 times,
Oh, more than 4. Yeah, okay.
more than 4.
Do you still need to request on that log? And submit if it's like 2 more times, you don't have to submit that log, that request.
If it's within 4.
Oh. So yes, right? We submit it if it's within those 4. So say it's only 2. I'm just thinking out loud.
How many times are you meeting with them in May?
Just till I think I think I have a meeting the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th. I meet with them once a week. So I don't suspect we're gonna have any problems turning everything in. But in case something happens, one of them gets sick, you never know, just trying to plan in case. If one of them gets sick, what would I do? I need to submit that log to say, hey, I think I'm gonna need 2 more days with such and such candidate.
Only if it's going to be more than 4.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. Thank you.
All right, so taking a glimpse into the next school year, okay? This I know was announced a couple, I think in a couple mentor meetings ago, because I think the first one that I saw was in January, but there is actually new CSTPs that the state is rolling out in California. This is not my choice, because I know I heard Cindy say we want to stay with learner agency and belonging, and we'll be able to, wrap those themes in with the new CSTPs. But the new CSTPs are being approved and have been approved, and they are going to go into effect the fall of 2025. So not this year, okay, but the next year, okay? And so the new CSTPs, they're called, the CSTPs of 2024, they really focus on family engagement and social emotional learning. So that's why I say learner agency and belonging is still going to be embodied in the new CSTPs, and we'll keep touching upon it. What I linked here is an article that just shows you a summary of the new CSTPs and why there is a shift. There's also a link here to what the new CSTPs are straight from the commission. And then there's a third document that shows what our current CSTPs in 2009 look like versus the new ones. So if you want to see a side-by-side comparison of what they look like, I know some of you are itching to see what those new CSTPs look like, and these are 3 great links for you to get a head start on it, okay? Next year, what we're going to do is all of our tools that we're working on with our candidates, we're still using the same tools, the same continuums as we're currently using. So nothing is changing for next year in terms of our documents. But what is changing is we need to start getting ourselves ready for the new CSTPs that are happening a year from now. Okay. And so in our mentor forums next year, we are going to dig deeper into what those changes look like with the new CSTPs. And also just being very reflective, where do we fall on the new CSTPs? Okay. So after we dig deeper next year, then we'll be ready for a full implementation that following year in 25-26 school year. Okay. So I did just want to, dangle a little piece of new information for you, okay, and kind of what we're going to be doing. Okay, here is, and let me link it for you. Okay. Here is a link to our forums and training schedules for next year. This first box is not a box for you because these are for our new mentors that are going to be hired over the summer, but we have new mentor training only for new mentors. What you do need to focus on is the mentor kickoff. And so if you can save the date for the mentor kickoff, we have August 1st, August 7th, and August 27th. You need to attend at least one of those trainings in order for you to be eligible to mentor next school year. Okay, so again, the link is dropped in the chat. All of the things that are underlined in the slide deck will also is a hyperlink to these documents. Okay, and as we look closer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Well, I thought you're moving to another slide. I just wanted what we texted this about the date, the day of the week for October.
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just need to update. We did find some typos. All of these dates right here have been, oh, sorry. The image, I'll need to change the image here, but the dates that are in the spreadsheet, or sorry, on the slide deck and this link is accurate. Okay. What Stacy was referring to, we caught a typo right here with mentor forum number 2. This is really a Thursday, but on the copy that I'm sending to you guys, it already has that correction. Now we're coming close to an end. This is one of the final things that we're going to be working on. But at the start of the school year with Ashley, you guys picked a goal that you were working on. Okay, you did this at the first kickoff. Then in January, you did your middle of year reflection on your mentor goal. This is your own personal goal that you wrote a SMART goal for. And now that we're in May, it's time for us to complete our end of year reflection. And so you're just going to pull up your document that you started on in September, that you went back to the same document in January, and then you finally have it at the end of the year, your end of year reflection. Okay, so please go back to your mentor goals from August and January. And then down at the bottom, there is a purple section. And thank you, Ashley. There's a purple section down at the bottom for your end of year reflection. Okay, when you are complete with that, you are going to upload it to Canvas. And so in the chat, I linked where you can upload it. Okay. Once this document is graded or reviewed by our team, then I'll give you your instructions for UKG for this meeting tonight. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move ahead into the next slide that just kind of summarizes our meeting so that I can also give you guys work time on your mentor goal reflection. Okay, but are there any questions right now for mentor goal reflection?
So we can start this now. We don't have to wait till finishing all the assignments.
No, because this is your own personal mentor goal. So that's why I saved this one for the end, because it's not something for you to complete with your candidate.
Will we be getting feedback from our candidate?
So yeah, I'm going to be pulling the module 2 survey data and then sharing that with you guys. Okay. And then as we are coming to a close for our May forum, there is a survey for today's meeting that I just dropped in the chat. Okay, but this is our last meeting. I do want to wish you guys a happy summer. But if you could leave some feedback about today's forum, then there's the opportunity for you to complete it. We do value all of your feedback that you give. This slide is really important because this kind of shows you, it's a summary of all the things for you to complete between now and the end of the year. So the things that I put in bold up at the top, okay, is your mentor goal reflection. This is something that you can complete tonight. Okay, as well as the forum survey. If you can complete these two things tonight, that would be great. And these are the slides that it references, okay? The rest of the items are the things that you're working on this month with your candidate. So again, going back to slide 13 to look at the tools that you need to prepare for module 3 or 6 with your candidate. You can work on your post co-assessment, slide 14, where you're pulling those CSTPs. You might want to use work time right now to, start collecting those, copying and pasting. You can use this time to pull the SMART goal reflection on slide 15 so that you're prepared to work on that with your candidate. Item 6 you can't do right now because your candidate is not here, but this is just a reminder for you to check in with your candidate about their grades, and the directions for that was on slide 16. And then also, when you're completely done with the module, for you to complete your mentor survey about your candidates, and the directions for that was on slide 18. Okay, and as always, if you can complete your mentor logs, and for our contract consultants for you to finish up your UKG, you can actually go in now and input your time for the month for all of your anticipated time that you're working with your candidates in UKG, okay? So that you don't miss the deadlines. May 17th is the date in Canvas. That's the goal date that, we want things done by. But just like how we were talking about the, the extra time, just to make sure that you're getting things done by May 31st, by the end of the month, okay? We very rarely want to go into June finishing up with our candidates. So, I want to strongly encourage you to finish up with your candidates in May, because these were the dates that were shared at the beginning of the year. I'm going to go back to that slide, but I did want to leave you my digital business card here. So there is my email. There is the work line to reach me, but here's also just my personal cell if you guys prefer to text. I did leave that for you guys so that you can reach me. Okay. So go ahead and copy that down or go back to the slide later. Okay, but I do want to open it up now for any questions. If you don't have any questions, this is your permission to leave the meeting. It was nice meeting you guys. Okay, but just any questions about any of this information? Mika.
Okay, yes. In terms of the document that I just looked at for the tool example for the end of the year, were those CSTPs just the ones that they said that they needed to improve on, or were they also the areas of strength?
Let me see. Hold on. So these ones here?
No, the co-assessments.
Yeah, so these are the ones you're pulling, the ones that you worked on this year. So all the ones that you worked on this year, you'll pull each of those and then complete the box down at the bottom. So whether it was a strength or an area of improvement, you're filling it out for all of them.
Okay, and so if they were the 1-year candidates, it would really just be 3. If they were focusing on just three co-assessments that they focused on for just this 1 year.
Yeah, if there were 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Hey,
you.
Lynette.
Hi, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
I actually have 2 questions, sorry.
No, go for it.
The first one, okay, my year 2 candidate, when will they kind of know that they've completed the work and their paperwork? Will they get emailed that their paperwork has been submitted to California Commission?
Ashley, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful you're here
Oh,
today.
am I already going ahead of that?
Okay, so what will happen is, once everything's complete, then Kevin and Marissa give their physical file to our credential analyst. Credential analyst will email them and say, hey, just so you know, I just recommended you for your clear credential. Be on the lookout for an email from the CTC so that you can go on and pay. And then it gives directions to pay. So they will receive an email once we've recommend. I keep saying we. Once
We are we.
they've recommended them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that email will come from, her name is Karen Valle. She's our
Okay.
credential analyst.
And
I'll
then
go ahead.
typically towards the very May, Cindy, who was on the call, she'll usually go in and let us know who's missing stuff still. So if anything is missing, then we email you and just say, hey, heads up, we can't recommend because we're missing this or whatever it is.
Got it. Okay. And then also I have a year 1 who I'm assuming I'm going to continue with for year 2.
Yes.
Do we wait until, do we need to get a clearance from you guys to say you're assigned to this person? I'm a person that's paid through my district.
Yeah,
So
so what I'll do is just confirm with your district that that's who you're still matched with. That's
Got
what we like to do. We like to encourage to keep the same mentor. But because you're compensated through your mentor or through your district and matched through your district, it would be them.
Okay. Okay. That's all I had. Thank you. Thank you.
If I can, this is Cindy again. I've already started with reading all portfolios that are completed. I have messaged some of the candidates that are missing a document that I could not read or was not read or has an X at it. if they do go in and look at their candidates, they will see the new message up. I also turn that in to the county, or I turn it in to you guys saying, up, I got a problem with this one. So that is ongoing now.
Cindy,
Yeah, all of our readers are leaving comments, so, you know, if there is a problem, they'll see the comment there in Canvas, so they'll know exactly what they need to complete. Our readers are very thorough. Olivia.
Hi. So right now, the time, we're just gonna be working on the mental goal reflection and the forum surveys like 25. Is that right? That's what we're working on right now.
Yes.
Okay, just everything else, we can do it like when we meet with them or.
Yeah, these are I felt the two things that you can get done today. So, you know, if you do have time, you know, we are finished on the earlier side. If you can complete items 1 and 2 today, then, you know, you don't have to worry about me chasing you after. The rest of the items, that's what you can complete kind of on your own. If you do want to log off, just make sure that you're completing item 1 and 2 as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. I actually get to see you. Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Hi, Nicole, I'm so sorry. Something came up and I just got distracted by dealing with it at my site and then I just got on here. So I apologize. I don't know what I can do. I just took a screenshot of the list to get it done. I don't know if like you can share the slide deck so I can find those items and complete them. I feel really badly. It's just been that kind of day.
Absolutely. I will link the slides for you. And then also I will, after this meeting, I'm going to post the slides again with all the links.
Okay. I will work on them. So it just looks like, I don't think I realized I could check my candidate's grades. So that's good to know. Oh, oh, I see. She has to give me access. Okay.
All right. Anyone else?
I do.
Hey, Charlotte.
I have my candidate showed me her the ILP, and it came back with just I guess the measurable, the SMART goal and the inquiry, but there's no comments like it's something is wrong or whatever. So I don't know. We were trying to figure out what the person was saying.
Charlotte, can you send me a private message in the chat?
Can I answer that? Charlotte, did it have complete on it?
I can't remember. Some things did. Everything else did except for that particular thing. So
because yeah, if it has the 2, if it has the SMART goal and it has the inquiry question, then it's complete. So
just so we know, they copy and paste that into the comments because their grades ultimately become their transcript. So, yeah, so you don't need to look at the comments if it's a copy, like they'll also copy and paste the name of the tool. Like you worked on backwards design lesson plan, or you worked on collaborative assessment log. So you'll see those as comments, but that's just part of their transcript. So you're really just looking for complete or incomplete, which is a check or an X.
Thank you. We're going to go back and look at it tonight. Thank you.
Charlotte, if you did see something, just go ahead and email me privately, and then I can pull your candidate's grades and we can look at it together.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
It's good to
I have another question.
Yeah, go for it.
Ashley's there. You know, with my new teachers, my year 1 teachers, she's not coming back to her school site. This is the 2nd year that I experienced that. I felt that she's a TK, but if she had the opportunity to observe teachers the first module, the first trimester, that would make the world of difference to them. Can we do that with our visa? Like if I get it, instead of waiting for module 2, do a module 1? Because I feel that's where you get the most out of your money, right?
So in all the modules for Elaborate, you can always choose an observation. So you always have the opportunity to go in, or they could do a veteran teacher observation. That's also an Elaborate tool. So either way, you can go into their classroom and see what's up in module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can also have them do a veteran teacher observation, module 1, 2, 3, 4,
Which
5.
I went, but I feel that if they would have the opportunity to observe early, and that's one of the things I talked to the principal, because she let her go and I wish, I mean, they should have given her another year and have her observe experienced teachers, veteran teachers. First thing, module 1. So
Yeah,
that's the things that I talked to the administration and said, wouldn't you consider like having the new teachers observing veteran teachers the first trimester instead of as soon as possible? So can I double like module 1 and module 2 if I feel that there's a need to observe in module 2?
For a veteran teacher observation, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. As long as they're observing a different teacher and seeing something different.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's why I like to have my triad super early as possible, so that I can front load to the admin like, hey, this teacher really wants to see veteran teachers. How do we make that happen? What is the process? Blah, 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 blah.
But sometimes it's really hard to get a
coverage,
an opportunity to meet with them early, especially in this particular situation. This is my second year, and I experienced that it was hard to. I mean, she was willing to meet, that's not a problem, but I think it didn't work on her schedule. And I would really like look something right after individual learning plan or before the individual learning plan. I would like to meet with them.
Yeah, and if you can't do principal, do AP, somebody that has some authority to get some coverage for them to
the TOSA teacher.
If they have authority to get a sub or coverage, maybe they can go cover the class. Well, whatever it is, but.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Olivia.
Nicole, if anybody else has a question regarding today's mentor training meeting, I'll let them go ahead. But I had a question on one of the tools. Could I ask it now, or should I reach out to you tomorrow?
We can talk tomorrow if you prefer. Yeah.
Okay. Just to give you a heads up, it's the analysis of student work. And I have to remember if this particular student was using it as a reflect, it might be the Elaborate. But the question that I wanted to just put in your head, or to give you an idea of the questioning, in the scripted portion, it's asking, it says that we could do a whole class or a small group. So we were hoping to use iReady data, because the iReady data really lays it out nicely in terms of the 4 different categories that it notes on this particular tool. So I'll talk to you more about it, but I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Okay, thanks.
Should I reach out to you? When would be a good time to call?
Yeah, I wrote your name down. What time is a good time to call you? And then I can.
Tomorrow, you can call me
Anytime.
like, yeah, after 11, like at 12. Well, how about, can 3 o'clock? Is 3 o'clock okay?
Yep, I'm still there. Yep.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thanks, Rosa. Hey, Terry.
Hi. So this is my first year, and I have a year 2 candidate. And they passed the RECA, thank God. And and we've pretty much done a lot of stuff, and we're near the end. I'm just wondering, is there some type of training or something? How do they complete what they need for the paperwork for the credential?
They do that at the TLC meeting that they attend. So they
okay.
attended TLC 3, and at that meeting, they completed their credential application and got everything ready for their submission. So basically, at this point, if they attended that meeting, we're just waiting till May 17th until everything's done, and then we can recommend.
Were those meetings already, or are they coming up?
So some of them have already started. They would have gotten an email from Marissa Capel, who runs the TLC meeting for them. And so she, just like how we have options for our mentor forums, they have option of which TLC meeting that they want to attend. I know Marissa just did one today at 4 o'clock, but she has a couple of them that she's offering. So I know that they've already started for their end of the year.
Okay. So and then, there's no extra anything that they have to do if they're year 2. It's just the same, whether they're year 2 or year 1.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the questions. Anyone else? All right. Well, it was so great meeting you, Diane. It's good to see you. Not teaching
Thank you. I
tonight.
made it eventually. Oh, it's always traffic.
All right, but that is the end of our meeting. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording. But if anyone has any more questions, just go ahead and stay on the line. And if not, there's your one.